Today in the crypto space, we see the market kind of going sideways, Bitcoin right around the $65,000 level, Ethereum right around 3,200, and the rest of the crypto space pretty much going sideways following the heavyweights. As long as Bitcoin stays above 65,000, it is very likely we see a sideways market, or in fact, maybe we see a bit of green to the upside. In today's video, I want to talk about the general market. I want to use Bitcoin as a leading indicator, but more importantly, I want to talk about one project that is looking pretty good, still within structure though, and that project is called AREON. So you know what? Let's talk about the news. Let's analyze the charts and let's strategize to capitalize. Welcome to the channel. My name is Mike, and let's get right into it, guys. If you're new to the channel, welcome. On the channel, we talk about cryptocurrency, Bitcoin, Ethereum, and all the altcoins, looking for opportunities. Whether we go up or down, bearish or bullish, it doesn't matter. All we want to do is stay one step ahead of the market so that we can capitalize on any of the volatility. And if you appreciate the strategy, subscribe to the channel, click the bell so you don't miss out on any of my future videos, including the live streams at 8 p.m. EST, guys, where we go live talking about crypto news and price action. If you have any projects you want me to cover here on the channel, feel free to let me know in the comment section below. You can hit me up on the socials. The links are in the description. Better yet, guys, join the Discord. The Discord is where it's at. Lots of good alpha, trade setups, fundamentals, and learning material. The best part is it's absolutely free. All right, guys, let's begin. Let's see what's going on here with the overall market cap. It's falling a little bit. Slow grind to the downside. But what's really interesting is we see the volume diverging. We're getting a bit of increase in volume. Now, this could be taken as a negative thing because as the market is falling, as the market cap is falling, why is it falling? It's because people are selling off. And we do see an increase in volume with regards to that sentiment. So that's not a good look. We got market participation right now, selling off a little bit of cryptos and definitely seeing the market cap fall. Now, the question is, do we get a bounce very soon? Do we see some volume to the upside? And that usually happens when we get a bullish response. And big picture, and even in the shorter time frames, I am seeing the possibility to see a bullish response very soon. Guys, we've been enduring a bit of red in the last little while. Now it's time to see what the bulls got in store for the continuation to the upside. Bitcoin is still rolling to the downside. As you can see, falling, still making lower lows and lower highs. If you kind of zoom in on this little tip of the fractal here, you do see, somewhat of an inverse head and shoulder, and Ethereum doing the same thing, and BNB and many others pretty much grinding to the downside, desperately trying to find support to get some relief or a bit of a bounce or even a nice spring so that we can get, breaking previous price action levels. A near protocol grinding down. We have Leo doing okay. What else do we have? Dips. Kaspa taking a bit of a dip here, down 4.6%. Kaspa has been doing very well. This dip did erase a bit of the price action to the upside that it has had in the last little while. But if you look at it in the last 7 days, not including past the 7 days, Kaspa's up 8.7% still, despite the 4.6% to the downside today. So this is not a big deal, guys. You know how the markets work, up and down. We get the relief rallies, we get the peaks and valleys, and this is what we have to do is expect corrections along the way. Kaspa's still strong, still looking okay until we see invalidation of any bullish thesis. I would suggest that that you understand that we're in a very strong bull trend with regards to Kaspa, and this could be the back test of the breakout zone that many people are talking about. We do see a lot of the price action with regards to other cryptos coming down. As you can see, slow grind to the downside. Monero waking up a little bit, but still making a lower high as we speak. So no change of character just yet. And if we keep on looking down, guys, look at this entire wave of red dips everywhere. Now, if you look at the price action, it's not much. Some of them less than 1%. Render a little bit more. Okay, fine. But really, what we have to be looking at is two things. Number one, the 7-day. Is it a double-digit dip? We see render down 22%, guys. That's not bad of a correction. That's not bad of a fire sale. We have BitTensor Tau down 20%. Also not bad of a scenario to be accumulating a bit. If you're on the sidelines and you're bullish, it's not bad. Just keep in mind, we're talking about $2 billion projects right here. $2 billion market cap projects. Now, if you understand the tokenomics and the way the markets work, really, if it's going to do well, it's going to do what, 5x or something like that? Is it going to reach a $10 billion market cap? It's very possible, guys. It's very, very possible. 5x, maybe even 10x, $20 billion. Why not? Why not? But more than that, guys, it's a stretch, right? So what we have to understand, even 10x is a great job. It's done very good. So understand that when you're in the larger caps, the gains are not there, but you get the security, you get the strength of an ecosystem that potentially is showing strength already. We got, the team established, and so much established white paper points, fundamentals, that you get into some basically a bit of confidence. You get in with a bit of confidence as you go down through the market. You do see a lot of these altcoins coming down still. We have Aave, slow grind to the upside. I appreciate it. Still looking good. Nothing really bearish here. It does resemble what Caspa has been doing, but Caspa did roll over today, as I mentioned. And if we keep on going down, it's looking like, a bit of red everywhere, guys. A few dips, I would say about 2 to 5% throughout the market. And if you look at the last 7 days, some of them are, like I mentioned, is already in double-digit dips, right? So this is something to consider, guys. The market is giving us a bit of a dip, an opportunity to accumulate nice and slow with a lot of patience, and giving us time to do research. As we see the prices come down, we can dabble into some of those white papers and get fundamentally bullish. Speaking of white papers, speaking about being fundamentally bullish, guys, prepare for my deep dive. It's going to be released on Sunday, deep dive. If you don't want to miss it, I would suggest that you subscribe and click the bell and make sure those notifications are on so you don't miss out on my deep dive release on Sunday. All right, guys, let's begin. I know you're talking about charts, so why not? Let's take a look at Bitcoin. Bitcoin, at the end of the day, is not doing fine. The reality is Bitcoin has been going sideways for way long. And if you rewind time, or if you go back into my previous videos, right into this level, right around here, this was one of my major basically major visions. Are we going sideways right around here? And guess what, guys? We kind of did. Now the question is it done? Is it over? As we go sideways, as we continue with this type of price action, guys, the market gets super bored, and people start capitulating. People start looking the other way. You can see that the engagement in crypto land is much lower than it was ever. And the reality is this is times where we start looking for expansions to the upside. Now the question is Bitcoin done staying within this range, and is it ready to start partying to the upside? Let's go see what's going on here in a little bit of detail. Bitcoin at the end of the day is doing a great thing on the short term, on the long, at the big picture, daily, weekly, doing great. Bull flag right into here. Nothing has changed. We're still in the bull flag. We got, a couple of lower lows. I can see that, and a few slightly lower highs. However, given the fact that this was an impulse and we're in a retracement, leads me to believe that eventually this is going to be done, okay? Meaning the sell pressure is going to be over. That's what retracements are for. They're for healthy profit taking. They're for individuals that want to buy the dip, a little bit of a dip before the continuation. And I feel like we're almost done this sideways price action. In fact, we could even break out earlier than expected. Now, what do we classify this recovery as? It does look very sharp, and it does look like a V recovery. Regardless, many people are going to start eyeballing this as an opportunity to start looking for a pattern within the structure, right? We do got one little shoulder here, maybe a head, and maybe we do come down to about 59, 60K and get that right shoulder, maybe even a little bit lower, type of, right around the zone, and get that right shoulder, and then done. We start coming up and start looking for a diagonal neckline to break above, and 80K plus, here we come. I get it. That's a very bullish thesis at the current moment, but we need to maintain structure. We need to stay above. Ultimately, we need to stay above this zone. I'm going to give it a very, area. I'm going to give it a target of about 60,000. Could come down a little bit more to hunt liquidity a little bit lower, because it has done in the past. So just keep that in mind. But the majority of the volume ends at about 60,000, as you can see based on the volume profile. Below this horizontal, you can see that we have gaps, we have weakness, we have a lot happening here. So let's see what happens in the next little while. I wouldn't be front running this. If you want to get into any long positions, always look for the best risk to reward ratio opportunity. Yesterday, I did release a video on Bitcoin in the morning, just giving you an update that this was a great entry level because of the support, because of the potential reaction that we can get in here. And you saw the wick that happened, guys, and we produced a nice hammer. So the reality is, are we going to get a nice reversal to the upside where we basically start moving, with a retracement, maybe coming up to 72, or we coming down a little bit more to confirm that bottom, similar to what happened here, and all of these, so that we can, get a nice nice reversal. Sentiment right now with regards to momentum is still fine. Nothing really wrong. We're back into the chop zone, back testing. Volatility is finally oversold. So if you followed my video yesterday, you know that I'm expecting a nice bounce out of the oversold condition with regards to volatility, which is this orange line. I want the orange line to get overbought again. And once that happens, it's very likely that we start to see the momentum get overbought as well. So I'm waiting for that impulsive move. And when we see that impulsive move, we're going to see the momentum overbought in an extreme way. It's very likely that it breaks above the 70% mark. And that's where we get the majority of the expansion. And to see the volatility push up with it means that we're trading volatility alongside momentum, which is very healthy. My only concern at the current moment is the trend. You can see the trend right now is, EMA is facing down, red histogram bars, but we are in the bullish control zone. And I'm wondering if this is going to be a short-lived little pump, very little dump. You can see that we've got one right here, right? What about if we get a little one right into here, just small, even smaller than this one? And then all of a sudden we start moving back up, looking for a bigger expansion, bullish expansion, because, a nice big one to the upside where we start breaking resistance, which obviously a lot of us are waiting for. So Bitcoin at the end of the day is looking pretty good. We're looking here on the daily. The 4 hour is looking pretty good as well because it's been holding up horizontal levels. This level right here respected, which I appreciate. We got divergence. Hopefully we get some follow through to the upside in the next little while. And that way we can see a confirmed higher high. However, guys, if on the 4 hour we get a lower high, be careful, because on the 4 hour, a lower high would mean we're getting follow through to the downside. But it doesn't look like. It looks like the momentum already got fully reset, and it looks like we're already getting divergence on the trend. As you can see, if you kind of zoom in here, you can see that the trend is diverging. We got divergence right in here. We get an EMA cross and a green histogram bar. So really, even on the 4 hour, I feel like this could be a short-term bottom. Even a bit of a back test again to get another double bottom might give you another great entry opportunity for a potential long to see where the bulls can take the price. Ultimately, we want these bulls to take the price to much higher levels, but we have to understand that we need to get some confirmations for support first before we can get overly confident. The daily, the 4 hour, looking good right now. And to be honest, even the weekly based on the bull flag. All right, guys, let's begin. Let's take a look at Area. What's going on with Area? Area is a project that I've been covering here on the channel for a good while. I did a deep dive on it. Feel free to check out the deep dive playlist. Definitely viable. It's going to be at the end of the video where you can link into that playlist. But ultimately, guys, if Bitcoin does start showing strength and giving the altcoins a bit of confidence that the overall total market cap is not falling anymore, people are going to start to deploy capital into nice projects. And Area's fundamentals, in my opinion, are decent. They're great. In fact, when I did the deep dive, at that point, I was fundamentally bullish and I started deploying and building position. Now, at this current moment, you can see that we've been grinding to the downside. This was my area of deep dive. This is when I did the research and I dabbled in. Now, all of a sudden, we see that we came down for a lower low. Now, this yellow line was brought in because we had this bounce, and this bounce, and we were consolidating right around here. So at that moment, I was like, guys, if we break below this, these bottoms right here, be careful because we're coming down for another leg. Now, guess what, guys? We did. We came down. The only issue is with this dip is that we didn't consolidate down here. In fact, we came down, we came back up. And that's basically a swing failure. It's not like the actual swing to the downside was sustainable in the sense that, it kind of consolidated for another bear flag and for another continuation down. It looks pretty good because it got back above the thick yellow line, which means that we're back into a structural scenario. Now, I don't think we're out of the woods just yet. We did get rejected again and got below the thick yellow line, but I like the fact that it was testing it and at least it was checking to see if it could break above. Now, that's what we really want. If you're a bull right now, what you really want to see from a price action perspective is you want to see the price get above this thick yellow line, and if anything, back test it and then continue to the upside with a higher high and get above the 200 daily, which is right around here. You can see there's a lot of confluence. You got a lot of volume in here to be it basically broke through. You got the point of control right here that we need to break above. So this is and you got the trend. The overall trend that comes from the top of this wedge. Now this is a descending wedge. Statistically speaking, descending wedges should break out bullish, and the bullish price target is the base of the wedge, which is all the way up here at about 30 cents. But we're not done yet, guys. We're not ready to actually be celebrating. Let me zoom in up again a little bit. We are celebrating the fact that we got a nice bounce to the upside right here. That's a pretty good one. I'm not saying it isn't. It's definitely every win is worth celebrating, but we didn't win big. We didn't change any major, basically structure. We didn't change any character of the structure. We want to make a higher high. Did we get any higher highs here? We did not. So this is one thing that we have to wait for, is a change of character. Now, if we do this, we make a higher high in comparison to this high. We really want to break above this high. That would be a solid move to the upside. That would be a really, really good structural change, a change of character, because here we're making a high, a lower high, another maybe potential lower high. And then all of a sudden we're looking at, okay, where do we need to break to actually get bullish here? The reality is you got to break these highs. These ones right here. But in the meantime, we can start changing character right here at the bottom by creating some price action that resembles a pivot point, that resembles an inverse head and shoulders, a cup and handle, an Adam and Eve pattern, a W formation, all containing bullish divergence. That is what we need. Okay, so let me quickly look at these oscillators to see if we're getting any edge. We've gotten overbought here on the daily with momentum and trend. You can see that the trend and the momentum right now are pushing down. Sorry guys, let me just get this bigger for you. You can see they're kind of pushing down. We did get a bit of a bounce off of the EMA. Now this was a mean reversion play, very, very clearly. The purple and the yellow were way overextended from one another, and they wanted to get back together, and guess what? They did. So they're back together now. The question is, does the purple go for another pop to the upside and give us another data point to classify some bearish divergence or something like that? Volatility is still pushing down. Statistically speaking, I would be waiting for volatility to get already oversold and then go long on this pop to the upside. Every time we start longing when it gets oversold to the upside, this is the best case scenario for entries, especially when you have a trending market or a trending momentum. As you can see, the momentum is definitely trending to the upside, and the question is, do we go for another top? And even if we go up for a lower high on the momentum, like something like this, we could still make higher highs on the price action, and that would be classified as class A bearish divergence. So there's a lot of goodness that could happen right into this level, and what we need to do is prepare for that scenario. Now, just keep in mind, guys, when you see the prices starting to get really overbought, as it was overbought, the long-term hold is probably the better play. Get in and you get out, right? We see the expansion in the background. Let me reposition this. You see the green expansion slowly tapering down. It doesn't mean that it's ended. It just means that what's really happening here is that we're in a bit of a downturn on the daily. But if the 4-hour is giving us the possibility that we've already reset, which we didn't because we didn't get oversold yet, and I see a lot of choppy momentum, a lot of choppy indecision, no real pattern, no real confidence in any of this, it keeps me worried. Okay, guys, so being indecisive is not a good look. You want more clarity when you're getting into trading. You want to be able to get in with an edge, and if there's no edge, sometimes it's best to kind of hang back. Now, if you look at the trend is bullish, guys. The trend right now on the daily is looking great. EMAs are in the bullish control zone. We got green histogram bars. We got a beautiful purple expansion to the upside, suggesting continuation, which is great. And then all of a sudden we get back into price action, because price action is king. Now, again, momentum right now is slightly overbought. Okay, and we can see that it poses a bit of risk. Just keep in mind that in bullish conditions, we can stay overbought for a little while. In bull runs, we stay overbought for longer periods than we do oversold. That's why we maintain higher highs and higher lows for a lot more in a bull run, because the trend is your friend. We're moving upwards, and obviously you can see that this trend reversal right here is looking really, really good. So based on that, I'm pretty confident that we're very close to a bottom and potentially building a bottom right here. So let me kind of make some adjustments. I don't appreciate this line being so thick because it integrates too much emphasis. It's important, no doubt, because of the previous psychological level of this volume and the point of control in these bottoms, and the fact that it swept the lows and got a few people wrecked here by this liquidity grab, which is totally fine. But what about if it's not a liquidity grab per se? What about if it's just a back test of previous price action and using it as resistance, which is not a good look? That's not something that we really want, because as you can see, we got all these bottoms, you got the volume, and we went up and we're getting rejected. What about if we get rejected right around this level and start coming down for a lower low? Guys, that would be horrible for area. And if you start looking at the wedge itself, it has the room to do it. It's not like it doesn't have the room to come down for another lower low. You can see we're not very tight here in the descending wedge. We have a little bit more to actually consolidate the price action a little bit more and get the Bollinger Bands and get all of the oscillators a little bit squeezed up before we get a nice expansion to the upside. So look, it could be possible. The reality is, from entry for me, if my entry versus the current price is not too far off, and I'm not willing to buy the dip with a little bit. I want to be able to buy double-digit dips, major dips, especially based on low cap market cap projects. I want to be ensured that I'm buying in on a deep retracement, because right now, yes, it does look like a 25% dip. It is a 25%, which means it is a double-digit dip. However, guys, it's not enough. I know that if we come down a little bit more, I can definitely be in a significant amount of red. And if I'm still fundamentally bullish, which I should, because what's the reason why I got in from the first place? I should be here doubling down, and I should be buying the dip. For me, it's not enough to get in with bigger bags at this level. If you're on the sidelines, you're getting a decent entry on a potential backtest, but keep in mind, what we really want to do is create a structural change. Now, let's get back into what I mean here. The risk you're taking at the current moment is that we make a lower low. Okay, buying right now is within the thesis that we're getting that reversal pattern. Is there a reversal pattern here right now? There is not. Okay, so there is nothing. There's not even any major divergence happening right into here. We got a little bit, and we already got follow through. We already got overbought, and the momentum is already full of throttle to the upside in the trend as well. So this is all good, but there's no major indications that we're going to be getting a break of this trend. But what about if we do, guys? What about if we break the trend, this trend right here, and get above the 200 daily? That would be bullish. And what about if we start creating a pattern where we start building that structural change? Then I'm more bullish. Then I deploy more capital to the upside. Then I prepare for my bullish thesis. I prepare my bags for the bullish thesis. If we get above and backtest and make a higher high, I'm bullish. If we get all of this happening right into here, if we come up to this level, which we can go in one day, we can make that happen, get rejected, come back up, and then go for another backtest of this level. I'm interested. We buy the dip, buy the dip. Now, if we start looking at this general area that I'm talking about for accumulation, which is between 16 cents and I would say as low as where we are right now, maybe even 5 cents, more or less. Okay, if you look at that zone and you start looking at what could possibly happen here for area from a fundamental perspective, because we should be trading fundamentals as well, not just price action, because the descending wedge looks good, we could definitely get back to previous highs. And we're looking at previous highs. The trade setup is not bad from this general area that we are in right now. So let's say our hypothetical average entries at the point of control, just to make things a little bit simple. You can see you're up 200%, and if your risk is breaking below the previous low, yes, you're losing 60%, but your win ratio is 3-to-1. Right? So this is what's really healthy here, is that your ratio, big picture, even for a bull run hold, not even getting into price discovery, is still very healthy around this area, building a position for a long-term hold for the bull run. This is my perspective. Now, as soon as we build and we collect a little bit more confirmations, you can get in with riskier bags using leverage, using bigger positions, whatever you got to do, whatever you feel that is appropriate for your trading strategy. That is when you start taking risk. But at the current moment, we're still within a structure to the downside, making lower lows and lower highs. Okay, guys, so dabble in nice and slowly. I would say 10 to 20% maximum at a time until we get all those confirmations to get super bullish. I like the fundamentals, so that's a great starting point to basically start building a position. But generally speaking, guys, lower lows and lower highs, I don't want to be catching that falling knife until I get a clear structure that I can put a little bit of emphasis on. Guys, if I've offered you any value in this video, do the channel a massive favor. Slap the like button. It does really help out with the algorithm. If you want to follow me on the socials, the links are in the description. Better yet, guys, join the Discord. The Discord is where it's at. Lots of good alpha, trade setups, fundamentals, and learning material. Guys, I'm going to be live tonight at 8 p.m. EST. Join me and feel free to make any requests on any projects that you may have, and I'll definitely put them in top priority. Take care, guys. Have a good one, and don't forget, buy the dip.